Wanderings, this is the city you have been waiting for. The biggest town in Andalusia, landmark site of Spanish history. A perfect balance between heritage and future. Today, in episode 7 of our road trip, I give you Sevilla.
Sevilla is undoubtedly the center of Andalusia and the metropolis that has made its mark on history. Christopher Columbus is buried here, for example. But once called Hispalis, it is now the 4th largest city in Spain and it has a lot to offer. Let me get you to the beautiful town of Sevilla. Vámonos!
Let's start right off by where we are now, La Plaza de España. This spectacular semicircle public square was originally constructed for the Hispano-American Expo of 1929. Destined for athletic shows and big events, it is now a perfect place to stroll, spot some shows, or even sail around it. On an historical note, all around the walls of the plaza, there are 48 Spanish provinces represented with azulejos classified from A to Z. When it comes to the 4 bridges, they symbolize the 4 kingdoms of the crown: Castilla, Aragon, Leon, and Navarra. Last thing important to mention, Star Wars II and Lawrence of Arabia shot some scenes on this same plaza. As impressive as Naboo being the science fiction version of Sevilla, here is another alien to add to your list when you visit the city, the Metropole Parasol. This beast dominates the surrounding landscape at an incredible size of 150 by 70 meters and 26 meters high. Called the Parasol or the Incarnation's Mushroom, it contains actually a central market and a Roman museum. The Roman museum is honestly very small and not worth spending money on. But what I did was going to the top for €5 and be on the mushroom. Wanderings, what you are looking at right now is one of the biggest wooden structures worldwide. Approximately 3,500 pieces of wood were used. To give you an idea, that's 1,300 tons of wood, which is absolutely enormous. On the top of that, after you had the time to walk around, you will be able to look at one of the best sunset locations of the whole Sevilla. Let's continue by visiting something a little bit more on Earth. 2 casas are actually palaces at this point. The first one is called La Casa de los Pilatos. Built between the 15th and the 16th century, it is one of the prettiest in Sevilla. Especially the main plaza, where this mix between Greek statues and azulejos combine and bless your eyes with beauty. For those who don't know out there, azulejos are tiles decorated with geometric patterns or figurative representations. In my opinion, on the walls they really can outplace any famous paintings. Talking about painting, there is one very peculiar in this house which represents a bearded woman giving the breast. Unlike anything I've seen before at a total random place, Giuseppe di Ribera's painting was hailed at the time of his creation as a thing of wonder. Whatever you think, let your imagination run wild, but please do visit this place because it is really lovely. Our second casa is called La Casa de las Dueñas. That one was built in the same centuries than Pilatos, 15th and 16th century. The main attraction of the Dueñas is the combination between the majesty of the building with its patios and gardens and the attractiveness of its collection. Honestly, look at all these collectible objects coming from another era. Outstanding to me. Las Dueñas has also been the meeting place of personalities such as Grace Kelly, Jackie Kennedy, King Alfonso XIII, and Eugenie de Montijo. The last person who lived and died in this casa was Cayetana de Alba. That was only after her passing in 2016 that the palace has been opened to public. The only downside to me and why I prefer La Casa de los Pilatos is that some of the rooms smell the present. It is totally fine, however, it seems less relevant to me than seeing through my eyes forgotten objects of the past. Before going to the two absolutely unmissable monuments of Seville, I have a little dig in the past to make in a small alley.
In this convent, which appears to be normal at first sight, you can do something unusual. I don't want to tell you too much about it, so let me show you. You need the money. And now apparently you just need to wait. I don't know how long. Should I press it? Yeah, I should press it. I should repress it. No? Just once. Okay.
¿Sí?
Hola.
Hola.
¿Son para yemas?
¿Sí?
La 11,
Vale.
por favor. I keep you waiting.
Gracias.
Muchas gracias. Hasta luego. Here you go. These are called yemas. Since the 13th centuries, nuns have been selling these nuggets. This is a mix of sauce, egg yolk, and sugar. The recipes haven't changed a bit. Normally, since centuries, imagine. So, look, this is in a box. Wow, this is in a box well protected. I don't know if I can open it right now. Well, to be honest, I wanted to try it in front of you, but look, the box is really sealed. Finally. Okay, so these are the yemas. Let's try it. Ooh, it's hard. This doesn't look natural. Okay, let's go. Okay, you can really feel the sugar. This is like totally sugar around it. The inside is more like fluffy. This is good.
Let's smooth transition ourselves to the Real Alcázar with me dancing the Macarena on the Macarena Street. Okay, after this musical interlude snack, let's visit one monument that is comparable of the Alhambra in Granada.
Classified as UNESCO Heritage Site, the Alcázar is a giant complex with sumptuous rooms, picturesque patios, and fragrant gardens. Everything here is a wonder. Absolutely, no kidding.
1931 is the date when the Spanish crown gave it to the city. That wasn't so long ago, right? But still, the royal family use it when they are visiting Seville. The construction began in the 10th century, but only remains of the murallas from that time. To help building it, Mohammed V of Granada came along. Every craftsman of both Granada and Toledo have gathered here to build one absolute masterpiece of Mudéjar architecture. I would say we can really see a mix of both Arabs and Catholic style. This is way more visible than in Granada. To prove my point, let's start right away with the palaces. We enter through the Paseo de las Doncellas, which means the courtyard of the maidens. This comes from the legend of the Moors demanded an annual tribute of 100 virgins from the Christian kingdoms of Iberia. In this patio, there is no water in the middle, and that's a shame, but all the rest is absolutely masterful. Arcs, meticulously inscriptions carved on the wall, flying birds giving a peaceful whistle, and that, my friends, is just the beginning. When you continue walking towards the center of the patio, you'll find the Ambassador Hall. This is the most sumptuous room of the whole palace. It was here that the king received his distinguished guest. The young Charles V celebrated his wedding also with Isabella in Portugal in here. But the most mesmerizing thing to look at is surely its ceiling. It is composed of cedar wood sections covered with interlacing, decorated with a variety of stars in such a way that this seems to be made of mother of pearl, silver and ivory. They also pay attention to the lights. Whatever the hours it would be, the throne of the king was the most enlightened in the room. Such a work of art. There will be thousands of rooms and walls to talk about, but I already talked for too long, so let's have now a last glimpse at the gardens. Like the Alhambra in Granada, the gardens changed faces many times over the years. Nonetheless, I can still feel its exotic pureness everywhere. I will not compare it to the Alhambra simply because at this time of the day it was 3 p.m. and I was starving. So in the end, I didn't visit too much of the garden, to be honest. That's why let's move on to our last monument, 2-in-1, the Cathedral and La Giralda.
That time, unlike Granada, I was able to visit the Cathedral of Sevilla, this giant piece of art, one of the largest of the world actually, and the biggest of Gothic art. But I believe you didn't have the chance to visit it, so let me help you achieve this goal.
Like many other cathedrals in Andalusia, this one was built on the top of a mosque. I did say in front of the camera that she is massive, but I meant it, massive. 4th biggest cathedral worldwide by its size. The clerics at the time even said it's a church so big that those who see it will think we were crazy. That is my thought right now. It is very difficult to realize the size of it on camera, but trust me, it's really big. Christopher Columbus is buried here and in Santo Domingo. Long story short, after his death, he was sent to Santo Domingo. But in 1898, Spain went to war with the United States and the remains were sent back to Spain. Couple of years after, a box was discovered in Santo Domingo where you could read Illustrious and Distinguished Male Don Cristobal Colon along with bones. The thing is, Spain has DNA tested the remains and it matched, while Santo Domingo refused to do it. Aside of the cathedral and Christopher's body is the Giralda, a huge tower of 97.5 meters high. This is where with the Metropole Parasol that you will have the best view over Sevilla. When you go up, you will notice that there is no stairs. The reason being is it allowed muezzins to climb with donkeys to the top. I found that fact very amusing. Not sure you can still do it though. What you however can is becoming deaf when the bells rings all together at certain times. They are huge and placed right above your ears. Enjoy! The sweet sound of these bells marked the end of our time in Seville. Sevilla is much more than just the biggest city and the capital in Andalusia. It is a place where flamenco was born and still flourish. It is a place that will surprise you at every corner of water. It is a place which I'm sure you will fall in love with like everyone does. Between all the places I have presented since the beginning of this road trip, Sevilla is a must to visit once in a lifetime. Wanderings, don't forget to subscribe and share, and I'll see you soon for the next episode of our Andalusian road trip. Hasta luego!